to search for Sita, to attain the goal of life, of bhakti. Sita represents pure bhakti. We must be determined. It's not a time for relaxation. In our own Krishna consciousness, we should vyavasayatmaka buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hinantascha buddhayo vyavasayana. Krishna says those who are on this path, they are resolute in purpose. They are determined. Their aim is one. They're not inclined toward an easy life. Devotees have to have absorption. Devotees have to have intensity. So Hanumanji, just to accept the offering, he touched the mountain with his hand and kept flying. Now the Devatas wanted to test Hanuman. So they called the mother of the Nagas, whose name was Surasa. They said, you should test him because you have mystical tantric powers. Become really big, fly into the sky and try to eat him and see what happens. So Surasa appears like a gigantic demoness. And when she talks, it's thundering in the sky. She said, who are you to come here? I have been given the benediction by Lord Brahma that anyone who comes before me, that I will have the power to devour them. So now, today, I see this nice monkey, big monkey, will be my food. Hanuman, he said, with all respect, that you can devour me, but let me give the message to Sita first. Then I'll come back afterward, and I promise you, I'll let you devour me. But I must do my duty to the Lord. She said, no, I will devour you now. I cannot wait. I'm too hungry. And you're a monkey. How can I trust you? So she opened her mouth very wide. And Hanuman expanded himself, double the size. She opened her mouth 1 yojana. It's about 8 miles. He expanded himself 16 yojanas. She opened her mouth double that. 16 miles, 2 yojanas. The more she opened, the more he grew, the more she grew, her mouth, until her mouth was literally covering the entire sky as far as everybody could see. And Hanuman was even bigger, and she got even bigger. Now, sometimes it is said that women have big mouths. Men also have big mouths. But Surasa actually had a big mouth. Hanuman, all of a sudden, when her mouth was all devouring, he became the size of a thumb and jumped in her mouth and started walking around. Walked all the way down her tongue, into her throat, real fast, and then jumped out. And in his little form, he said, Lord Brahma's benediction has been fulfilled. You devoured me. Now please let me go on and do my service to Ram. And Surasa was so happy. She said, you are very intelligent. Very wise man. How you did like that. And she blessed Hanuman. You will be successful in your service to Sri Ram. But this is one of the impediments in our devotional service. This tendency to want to compete and be bigger and better than others. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Trinadapi sunichena taror ibase yeshnana. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. This was Hanuman's mood. Rather than just getting bigger, become very small. No pride, no false ego. In the service to the Lord, who cares about winning? In these different types of, egoistic competitions. Hanuman was happy to accept defeat. Yes, he could have fought like a monkey. No one will devour me. False pride. No. Service to the Lord. Take a humble position if necessary. Yes, you devoured me. You win. You won. So now let me do my service. So this competitiveness based on the false ego is an obstacle on the path of bhakti. Hanumanji took the humble position and was blessed. He's flying in the air, and a Rakshashi woman named Simika grabbed his shadow. Now Hanuman's in the air and he's not going anywhere. He's looking around. He's like, it's not going. And he looks down, he sees way down near the ocean, here is this horrible, ugly Rakshashi who's holding on to his shadow. And she had the mystic power to stop a man by his shadow. She wanted to devour him. She represents another obstacle, envy. First pride, and then envy. The nature of pride, she was trying to drag Hanuman down. The nature of an envious person is they want to bring down others, especially people who are higher than them. Cannot tolerate seeing anyone above me. Must somehow or other drag them down. And another thing, Simika, representing envy, she was very expert at grabbing onto the shadow. Darkness. Yes. Instead of looking into the bright side of people, an envious person wants to always focus on the dark sides of people. See their faults, see their mistakes, broadcast it, meditate on it. Srila Prabhupada said, even the faults in a Vaishnava, to point out those faults is like criticizing the moon because they have marks on them. The moon is giving off so much light. But yes, there are some dark marks on it. So are you going to forget about all that light and just talk about the marks? A devotee is like a honeybee, always looking for nectar in people, looking for the nectar of the good in people, the devotion in people, the potential of love in people. A fly looks for the pus, the infection, the stool. So envious people, and envy is in all of us. Anyone who's not a pure devotee still has envy in their heart. It's an obstacle. We have to guard against it. We have a tendency to see the faults in others, to see the darkness in others, and ignore the bright side, ignore their virtues, and try to bring them down. That is Simika. So holding on to Hanuman, she opened her mouth very wide to devour him. And he got bigger, and her mouth got bigger, and she got bigger, and her mouth got bigger. And again, Hanuman got small and went right into her mouth. But she was really envious. She wasn't testing Hanuman like Surasa. She wanted to kill him. She was determined. And there was no way she would ever let him get by. It was either he dies or she dies. In the service of Ram, he went down in that little form, went down her throat, went right to her heart, and with his nails, he ripped open her heart, and then started ripping all her other organs apart. And Simika screamed, echoed in all directions. And Hanuman came out of her body as she fell into the ocean. And he didn't even look back, he just carried on. And reached the shore. He saw in the distance the Trikuta mountain on which Sri Lanka was located. Fantastic sight. What a beautiful place. When he came to the shores of Lanka, Hanumanji was trying to decide how to find Sita. He thought he would wait till night when it was dark, and then incognito in a small form, a monkey about the size of a cat, he would just go through. But as he was trying to enter Sri Lanka, there was a Rakshashi guard named Lankini. She stopped Hanuman. It's interesting because he was a brahmachari and all these Surasa, Simika, Lankini, he was a lot of tests. Lankini said, "You monkey, get out of here. I will kill you. This is Sri Lanka. No one enters without my permission, and I am this maidservant of Ravena, and I must guard his city. You dare to come to these shores, I will kill you." She slapped Hanuman. Now Hanuman, with his fist, he punched her. But he really restrained himself because he didn't want to kill her. He just wanted to remove her from the path. He just punched her, and she fell down. And then she got up, and she was actually quite ecstatic. She said, "I congratulate you. Because Lord Brahma told me long ago," was it Brahma or a rishi? It was Lord Brahma. She said, "Someday a monkey's going to punch you, and you're going to fall down." And that monkey is going to burn the city of Lanka, and that's the time when Ravana and that's the beginning of the end of the whole Ravana's dynasty. So she said, "I give you all blessings, go in and do your seva to Lord Rama." So the moon was rising, and Hanumanji took a small form like a ordinary little cat-sized monkey, and he not only wanted to find Sita, but because he was a very, very intelligent, strategic warrior, he wanted to be able to share with Ram and Lakshman and Sugriva all the formations of the city and the formations of the army and how the whole city was developed, so that when they fought with them, they would have all this significant information. But his main purpose was to find Sita. He was amazed to see the opulence of Lanka. The most precious materials. It was the kingdom of Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, before Ravana took over. And then he developed it even more with Kumbhakarna and the help of his. So much gold and silver and just unlimited precious jewels of all sizes. And he was seeing these gigantic rakshasas everywhere. Heroes all holding weapons. And because it was night, they were all enjoying there were millions of them just guarding, and millions more that were just enjoying. They were intoxicated. They were all enjoying all these beautiful women of daughters and Gandharvas and rishis that they would kidnap. It was a horrible scene. He kept going, looking. And everywhere he was going, there was these mighty, mighty warrior rakshasas and all these unbelievably beautiful ladies that were hardly even dressed. Most of them were just intoxicated, laying on beds. And Hanuman had to very carefully examine each one of them to see which one was Sita. Very difficult service for a brahmachari like Hanuman. He was looking for Sita, so every woman he was seeing laying there. But he didn't have any desires for it. He was just doing his duty. Completely aloof from the dualities of the world, because he was absorbed in devotional service. He came to parks and gardens and mansions, 7-story buildings. And finally, at the very peak of the Trikuta mountain was the palace of Ravana. How beautiful that was. The floor was the most precious shining marbles. The walls were gold, solid gold, with decorations of silver and millions of jewels giving light within the walls. Furniture was ivory, coral, gold, diamonds. Beautiful. There was over 100,000 Rakshasa guards surrounding Ravana's palace. Hanuman's going deeper and deeper. Nobody sees him. He's checking out everything. He sees so many of these beautiful ladies. None of them he believes is Sita. Then he comes, Ravana's palace, I think he traveled about 4 miles through this luxurious palace until he finally came to Ravana's chamber. The most opulent, more opulent than the king of heaven. Because Ravana had conquered the king of heaven, Indra, and all the devatas practically. And there he saw on a massive bed made out of crystal, bedecked with all the most precious jewels, celestial jewels. There was Ravana laying there, drunk with intoxications. At that time, by his powers, he could change his form too. He only had 1 head and 2 arms. Hanuman looked at Ravana. He really was scary, but he was also very beautiful. And his power. Hanuman was thinking, if only he was a devotee. In the service of the Lord, he could practically control the whole universe in Ram's service. But because of his envy and his lust, everything is spoiled. And there was somebody next to Ravana, the most beautiful woman in all of Sri Lanka. She was absolutely beautiful. She was laying asleep right beside Ravana. Hanuman thought, the quality of this person's beauty, could this be Sita? But then he was thinking, not possible. Sita would never willingly lay next to Ravana. And she would never look intoxicated. She would never take intoxications. And not only that, she would not look blissful like this lady in her sleep. In separation from Ram, Sita must be weeping and weeping and weeping. So he kept searching and searching until he came to a magnificent, huge garden. And there he saw these ugly, horrible Rakshashis surrounding a beautiful woman whose clothes were soiled, whose hair was uncombed, who was unbathed, but still, through it, the most charming beauty in all of spiritual and material creations was sitting there. And she was constantly sobbing out the name of Ram as tears were streaking down her face. She heard these Rakshashi women harassing her, that if you do not surrender to Ravana, you will become, we will kill you, we will destroy you, we will eat you alive. And she wouldn't look at any of them, constantly crying out the name of Rama. Hanuman was hiding in a tree, wondering, how am I going to get the message to Sita when she's surrounded by Rakshashis? He was watching through the night. Early morning, Ravana woke up, and his whole focus was only on getting Sita. As soon as he woke up, he just dressed himself very nicely, put on jewels, and with hundreds and hundreds of massive guards, marched into the Ashok garden, right to Sita, and started speaking lovely poetry to her, to try to somehow or other attract her heart. I cannot sleep thinking of you. You are the, when Lord Brahma created your beauty, he must have retired after that because there was nothing else he could possibly do. Ravana was a poet. He was composing love songs and he was very sweetly presenting them to Sita. But Sita would not look at him. She responded by saying, by keeping me, you are keeping a noose around your neck. You are a coward. Why didn't you fight Ram and Lakshman? Why did you steal me like a thief when they were away? Because you are a coward. Ram will come here. He will kill you. I would rather die a million deaths than be touched by you. She wouldn't look at him. And she was constantly crying, Ram, Ram, come. And Ravana was outraged, being insulted by Sita this way. What nonsense. You see what a king I am? You see the royalty I have? You see what good manners I have? You see the wealth and the opulence I have? All the gods tremble in fear of me. I have defeated each and every one of them. And who is your Ram? Rejected by his father, living like a worthless jungle dweller. If you just accept my love, then you will enjoy. I will give up all my other wives only for you. And we will roam along the beautiful seashore of Sri Lanka together, immersed in divine pleasures. And if you don't, then at the end of the year, I will chop your body up and I will eat you for my morning meal. Those were the two choices. Sita proclaimed that when Ram comes here, you will be the food for vultures. Ravana, outraged, he turned to the Rakshasi woman and he said, force her to submit to me. And he went away. Meanwhile, the Rakshasi women, they had the order of Ravana once again. They were really ugly, these Rakshasa women. Of course, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Some of them had ears as big as the rest of their body. Some of them had fangs and claws. They were really hideous people. And they had weapons. And they were waving their weapons around and showing their teeth and screaming and their claws and all threatening to kill and eat Sita if she didn't surrender to Ravana. And she just had her eyes down, just chanting the name Ram, crying, crying, crying. And Hanuman was watching it all. His tendency was to just go down there and just beat up all these women. But he understood that that would not be fulfilling the mission of the Lord. He was very restrained. He knew what he had to do. But then, one mystical Rakshasi lady, her name was Trijata, yes? She appeared. She said to all the other ladies, I won't call them ladies, all the other Rakshasis. She said, I had a dream last night. In my dream, I saw the beautiful effulgent form of Ram and Sita reunited, ascending in a wonderful chariot, dressed in beautiful gowns and clothes and full of jubilation. And I saw Ravana and all the Rakshasas of his dynasty, his family members, his generals. They were all being carried away to the funeral pyre. Now everyone knew that this Trijata, she was a mystic and she could see the future. So the Rakshasis realized what was going to happen. So they all went to take rest a distance away. And Sita was all alone, crying for Ram. At that point, Hanuman was wondering, Ravana has tried every trick to induce Sita. If I come before her, she may think that I'm Ravana. So from the tree, she couldn't even see him. He was in a very small form then. He started chanting the glories of Ram. Told about Ram's birth in Ayodhya and his brothers, Lakshman, Bharat, Satrughna. told all about his travels with Vishwamitra Muni through the forest, his marriage of Sita in Mithila, his coming back to Ayodhya, his banishment, the wonderful loving exchanges Sita and Ram had in Chitrakoot. And then he talked about their travels through the forest into Dandakaranya, the kidnapping of Ravana, and how it affected Ram. How he was weeping and crying out Sita's name, searching everywhere, and how he made allies with Sugriva. And now all to the point of Hanuman's search for Sita and his crossing the ocean and all the impediments he had. He told everything, glorifying Ram. I am the messenger of Ram, I have come here. And Sita, where are you? Where are you? And then she saw this little monkey. But he kept speaking about Ram and her heart. It's the first glories of Ram she heard in all those months in Sri Lanka. At that time, Hanuman came out and gave her the ring. Sita took that ring to her head, to her heart, and cried, "You are the messenger of Ram." She said to Hanuman, "Of all devotees, you are the greatest devotee. All that you have done through, all the sacrifices you have made, jumping across the whole ocean, risking your life here in Sri Lanka all alone. There is no other devotee that can equal you, Hanumanji." Hanuman said to Sita, "I will take you to Ram myself. Just get on my back." But he forgot that he was still small size. He was less than half the size of Sita. He says, "Just jump on my back and I'll take you away." And Sita said, "How can I get on your back?" And then Hanuman realized, so he got real big. He just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And said, "I will take you. I can single-handedly destroy Ravana and the whole Sri Lanka. I have the power, Sita. I can pick up the whole Sri Lanka and take it back to Kishkinda Kshetra. So just get on my back and I will take you." Sita said, "But if I get on your back, when you start flying through the sky, I'm going to blow off and go into the ocean where all the ferocious aquatic animals will eat me, fish. How can I, when you're flying so fast, how can I hold on to you? And besides that, I have vowed to never touch another man except Ram. Ravana forcibly touched me, but I will never touch another man. That is my chastity. And besides that, if you take me back and rescue me, then it will minimize the glory of Ramchandra. It is his vow that he will come here and he will personally rescue me. Then his name will be glorified forever." And how Lord Ram, in order to punish that crow, picked up a single piece of kusha grass and threw it and empowered it as a brahmastra. And how that grass, the crow flew throughout the universe, but the grass was always right behind it. And finally, the crow came back to Ram and fell at his lotus feet and surrendered. And Ram spared the crow, but had the grass pluck out its eye. Haribo, tell him that story and he'll know that you see me. And then she had a piece of cloth and unwrapped it. There was a yellow jewel. a jewel that Indra had given to King Janak, and a jewel that Janak Maharaj presented as a gift to Ram on the day of their marriage. And Ram gave it to Sita. She said that if you show him this jewel, he will know that you have met me. And please tell Lord Ram that I cannot live much longer in separation from him, in the association of these Rakshashas and Rakshashis. Please, he should come and rescue me. Hanuman bowed his head at Sita's lotus feet. But then he decided to give more information to Ram. He wanted to get more intimate information. He wanted to test the might of the Rakshashas. So he grew into a very big size and started just playing like a monkey, uprooting trees, beautiful fruit trees. There were golden walls made out of golden bricks. He was knocking over the whole walls. There were beautiful buildings, garden buildings. He was smashing them to pieces. He was causing total havoc in the garden. And it was the favorite place of Ravana. So the Rakshashis ran and told Ravana what was happening. There's this gigantic monkey destroying your garden. It's practically finished. And then he sat on the main gate and he yanked a big iron rod out of the gate and was standing there waiting for anyone to challenge. Ravana sent 80,000 soldiers, massive Rakshashas, all armed with deadly weapons, to attack Hanuman. Hanuman saw him coming, was smiling, laughing, screaming out so everyone in Sri Lanka could hear him. I am Hanuman, the messenger of Ram. And he took that steel bar and started whirling it around, and like the wind, he just dove into those soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, he killed all 80,000 Rakshashas.